I came across TWIM because I saw on Twitter the paper with Delson Armstrong and studying him in Nirodha Samapatti. And that research paper inspired me to take a closer look because it was a scientific look into these deeper meditative states. So that's what got me interested in TWIM. And then from there, I looked for retreats, and there was this one happening in the UK, so that brought me here.
And what was your experience during the retreat?
So within the first couple of days, my mind was going very, very deep into the quiet mind. I started off meditating on loving kindness, but I seemed to have just skipped through a few jhanas for some reason. My mind just really wanted to be quiet. And I meditated for quite a long time on the quiet mind, and I was going in between jhana 7 and 8, neither perception and non-perception, and the other one I forget the name of. And I didn't sit for longer than an hour and a half, and down there I was like trying to relax but never quite able to fully let go. Then for me, one night when I was going to sleep, I think on the third night, I was meditating a little bit, my mind just sort of relaxed, and then there was like this pop, and I saw in the black kind of like a laptop screen of sorts with like a green hue of lights on it. And all of a sudden I had so much energy, and I was really restless, but very like elated and alert. I thought that's weird. Like normally if I go to sleep and I like bounce back up, it's like a jolt, but then quickly I'm like going back to sleep again. And this was just like, I couldn't sleep for ages. And then I told Delson about it the next day, and he confirmed that it sounded like a cessation event. And I was surprised, like, because it wasn't what I expected. But for the rest of the day, I had a headache because of some adrenaline I'd been experiencing by getting excited in states the day before. But it didn't bother me in the slightest. I was walking around just feeling really, really light, and the headache was there, but it was just, had perfect equanimity to it. And I remember everything was so clear and calm and unladen. So the days before I'd been sort of in infinite consciousness and just feeling everything and the constant arising and passing and the way it wants to draw your mind in, the subtle tensions it brings. And then the day after, just like everything is pristine, and it was really light and it was beautiful, and I could see just more clearly the links of dependent origination, things arising everywhere, but particularly in what I called me. Like, you see how an object or an event occurs, and then there's a perception of it, and then an intention, and you see how this is constantly playing out in completely impersonal fashion. And this was like, I've had awakening-like experiences in the past, but this was like just another shock again to be like, whoa, it really is impersonal. And then the second time I experienced a cessation event was I was meditating again with the quiet mind during the day quite a lot, but then going to sleep again I was sort of half meditating, but not really. The mind was just always wanting, before these things, the mind was just always wanting to be quiet and not do anything else. Like, it's almost like anything else was too much effort. I was just like, so yeah, I was going to sleep, and next thing I know, I'm dreaming, and there's something in my dream. There's like a tower that represented the Dhamma, and there's something representing like jhana 7 and 8. And the next thing I know, I don't know if I woke up or was in my dream, there was like a drop and a pop. And then I was like wide awake, and there was this flurry of like green digital lights, like sort of faint green, and it was like a shower of sparks. And like I couldn't sleep for the rest of the night, but I was so happy about this. Like, there was this huge smile coming from me, and like my face wasn't big enough to express the smile. Then later in that night, after I'd been rolling, like tossing and turning happily, but restlessly, my mind kept sort of, not long before I was supposed to go up, I sort of wanted to go to sleep, and then my mind kept going in from being alert and just going into like perfectly mindfully into the hypnagogic state and getting more and more comfortable, like it was going down into sleep. And then I would come across this big white, like milky white, like pristine engulfing, I don't know what, engulfingness. And in it was like imprinted like the Tibetan Om symbol, like at the center of mandala. It was like printed in the white in a sort of way that it stood out, but it wasn't in any way affecting the whiteness. But I would always pop out of that, and that happened like maybe 4 times. And then again for the rest of the day, I was just really elated and relieved, and yeah, it was beautiful.